All right, so you know how it is, right? You spend hours prepping for that big presentation, or you've got your strategy locked in for a tough negotiation. You think you're totally set.
Uh-huh.
But then, wham, life throws a curveball at you.
Oh, yeah.
How do you stay cool and collected in those moments? And how do you actually turn that unexpected twist into, a win?
Right.
Well, that's what we're going to be exploring today, this idea of strategic spontaneity.
Ah, strategic spontaneity.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's like, how can something be strategic and spontaneous at the same time?
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a contradiction, right?
It does, but when you really think about it, it's about blending careful planning with the ability to adapt, you know?
Kind of like a jazz musician. They've got the scales, the chords down pat, like that's their foundation, but then they improvise on top of that.
Right, and they create something amazing in the moment. That's a great analogy.
And it highlights that thing you were talking about,
Huh.
the foundation.
Yeah, that foundation of knowledge and skill is absolutely key.
Yep.
Think about like a seasoned trial lawyer.
Okay.
They've got years of legal knowledge, tons of courtroom experience under their belt, but then boom, a witness says something completely out of left field.
Right.
That's when strategic spontaneity comes in.
So it's not just reacting, it's reacting effectively.
Exactly. You have to think on your feet. You have to be able to adjust your approach like in real time.
Right.
And that's where these 4 key elements of strategic spontaneity that we're going to talk about come into play.
Okay, what are those?
So there's flexibility, creativity, decision-making, and preparedness.
Okay, let's break those down.
Let's do it. First up, flexibility. Picture yourself as that lawyer we were talking about. The witness throws your whole case for a loop. Can you adapt to that new information and change your strategy?
So you're not panicking, you're not frozen, you're like, all right, how do I use this to my advantage?
Exactly. That's where creativity kicks in. Can you turn that unexpected thing into a strength? Maybe that witness's testimony opens up a whole new line of questioning that you hadn't even considered before.
Right, so you're not just rolling with the punches, you're using those punches,
Exactly.
to win.
Exactly. And of course, all of this takes some serious decision-making skills.
Yeah.
In those high-pressure moments, you don't have time to overthink. You have to trust your gut and make the call.
That's when all that experience and preparation you were talking about really pays off, right?
Yes.
It's like you've built up this mental muscle memory, and it lets you act decisively even when everything's chaotic.
That is a fantastic way to put it.
Yeah.
And finally, we've got preparedness.
Right.
Strategic spontaneity, it isn't about winning it, It's about knowing your stuff backward and forward. So you can face the unknown with, real confidence.
It's like you have a mental map of the terrain, even if you're going off the beaten path a little.
Exactly. Exactly.
I do have to ask, though, all of this sounds great for those high-stakes situations, like a courtroom.
Yeah.
But what about someone who isn't a lawyer or a CEO? How does this apply to them?
That's a really great question. The cool thing about strategic spontaneity is that it works in any field, like any situation where you might run into something unexpected.
Right.
Let me give you an example. Say you're a teacher.
Okay.
And you've got this awesome lesson planned out, but then your projector decides to die on you.
Oh, no.
Or half your class is out sick.
Yeah.
What do? Do you just try to force that original plan?
Right.
Or do you find a way to make it work?
Got to be flexible, right?
Exactly. That's a perfect example. You might need to tap into that creativity and flexibility to engage those students in a different way.
Totally.
Maybe turn it into a group discussion instead.
Right.
Or go old school, the chalkboard.
Yeah, getting more involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's what I love about strategic spontaneity. It's not just about dealing with problems.
Right.
It's about seeing the unexpected as an opportunity.
Oh, I like that.
Remember when we talked about that growth mindset idea?
Yeah.
This is where it really shines.
It is, right. It's like that whole idea that you can learn and grow from anything, even the mistakes and setbacks.
Yeah.
You're not getting all flustered when things go off script.
Right.
You're like, okay, this is a chance to learn something new.
Exactly.
Try a new approach.
That attitude is everything.
Yeah.
That willingness to just embrace uncertainty.
Right.
That's what unlocks the potential of strategic spontaneity.
I see that.
It's moving away from that fear of failing and towards, possibility.
Yeah. And it strikes me that, self-awareness is a big part of this too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if you know your strengths and weaknesses,
yes,
it can help you adapt more effectively.
100%.
Like if you know you tend to freak out under pressure,
Yeah.
you can come up with strategies to stay calm and focused.
Exactly. That self-awareness lets you use your strength to your advantage.
Yeah.
And work around the things that maybe aren't your strong suit.
Right, right.
It also helps you read the room, pick up on those subtle cues that can help you make decisions in the moment.
So it's a combination of like internal awareness and external observation.
It is.
And thinking about that makes me think that strategic spontaneity isn't just reacting to the unexpected, right? It can be about creating opportunities too.
You're absolutely right.
Being proactive.
It's about being ready to grab those moments when they come up.
Okay.
Let's say you're at a conference, right?
Okay.
And you overhear a conversation that sparks an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just hesitate? Or do you jump in and say something?
Yeah, that takes courage, but it's exciting. It's like having the confidence to say yes to those chances that life throws at you.
And that confidence, it comes from the same foundation of knowledge, experience, and self-awareness that we've been talking about.
It all comes back to that.
It's about trusting yourself to handle whatever comes your way.
So it's a cycle. The more you practice this,
Yeah.
the more confident you get.
Right.
The more willing you are to step outside your comfort zone.
It is.
And create those opportunities.
Exactly. And that's where things get really cool.
Okay.
It's not just surviving the unexpected.
Right.
It's thriving in it.
Yeah.
It's using those moments to innovate, to connect, to really make an impact.
Love that. Yeah.
It's about seeing the unexpected not as a threat, but as a chance to grow, to learn, to create.
To create something new.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm with you.
But how do we actually do this?
Yeah, how do we build this strategic spontaneity muscle?
Well, it's something you can actually practice in your everyday life, starting right now.
You know, it feels like what we've been talking about is kind of a mental shift.
It is, yeah.
Like a new way to see things.
It's about moving away from that gotta stick to the plan mindset.
Right.
And being more fluid, adaptable, you know?
So how do we do that? How do we train ourselves to be more strategically spontaneous?
One of the best things you can do is think back on your past experiences.
Sure.
Think about a time when you had to just improvise, when things went off the rails.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
What made you think on your feet?
It's like watching game footage, but for your life.
Exactly.
You can see what worked, what didn't.
Right.
Maybe what you would do differently next time.
As you do that,
Yeah.
pay attention to how you felt.
Okay.
Did you panic? Did you get frustrated? Or were you able to stay calm?
Right.
Knowing those emotional patterns can help you
Yeah.
manage those high-pressure moments.
So you're not just analyzing the event, you're analyzing your reaction to it.
Exactly.
That's really smart.
And don't forget to ask for feedback.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Ask friends, colleagues, mentors for their thoughts on how you deal with unexpected stuff.
Okay.
They might see things you miss.
Right. Because sometimes you're so in your own head,
Exactly.
you don't see the full picture.
And remember,
Yeah.
feedback isn't just about finding weaknesses.
Right.
It's about knowing your strengths, too.
Oh, for sure.
What are you good at? What comes naturally?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are your assets, the tools you use when things get crazy.
Like understanding your own personal toolkit.
Precisely.
Okay, I like that.
And another thing, stay curious.
Oh, yeah. Always be learning.
The more you learn, the more you see new ideas,
Right.
the better you'll handle anything life throws at you.
It's like you're building this mental database of knowledge and experience
Yeah.
that you can use in those moments.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
And never, never underestimate listening.
Oh, yeah. Active listening.
When you really hear what someone's saying, you can respond better, make better decisions, even build better relationships.
It's about being in the moment, not just waiting for your turn to talk,
Exactly.
but actually absorbing what they're saying.
And that's what helps you pick up on those cues
Right.
that can guide you in unpredictable situations.
So strategic spontaneity, it's not just skills, it's a mindset.
It is.
A way of looking at the world with curiosity, flexibility, and that willingness to, embrace the unknown.
I love that.
This has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Glad you enjoyed it.
You've given us a lot to think about, a lot of ways to actually develop this skill.
You already have what it takes,
Yeah, we do.
It's about finding that potential and using the power of the unexpected.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
So for everyone listening,
Yeah.
here's your challenge.
Okay, what is it?
What's one thing you can practice strategic spontaneity with today? At work, relationships, your daily routine, wherever.
Just embrace those unexpected moments and see what happens.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.